Hello, Eurovision friends. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, Eurovision Histories. Today, I want to talk about the second rehearsal of the second semi-finalists because we have all of these 30-second clips on the official YouTube channel of the Eurovision Song Contest now. They were split up into two because they rehearsed on two different days as well. This channel has, is, and will follow the decision of the EBU on which countries participate in Eurovision. And let's get right to it. The first one I want to talk about is Sara Bonici and Loop for Malta. Now, in my last video on the first rehearsal, I said that this was way more impressive than I thought, and that it walked all over some of the other female-led pop songs with this very impressive choreography. I'm going to change my tune a little bit here. I still think that the choreography is impressive. I still think she performs this really well. But this 30-second clip is maybe 4 or 5 words being sung, and then it's a huge dance break. It's a dance break after a dance break after a dance break. And even in these 30 seconds, I was like, okay, so are you going to sing again? And I think a lot of people will feel that way. Also, the dance moves, some of them are really impressive, and then others aren't as impressive. I still don't like the bandana over their eyes and then they do the flip while there are like these cheap sound effects. I don't like that part as much. People will be impressed by it, I'm sure, but I'm a little underwhelmed by this because it's just more of a dance break than a song. And to be honest, that whole trend of having a dance break in your song has to end. Maybe it does this year when a lot of these songs that have dance breaks don't do as well. But it's just too much. I don't like that anymore. Not particularly Malta, but in all of these songs, so many of them have dance breaks now, and I'm just a bit tired of it, to be honest. And Malta is kind of the dance break of all dance breaks. So, but the voice sounded pretty good in that very first part, which was like 3 seconds that we actually heard her sing. Then we have Besa and Titan for Albania. Different outfit from the first rehearsal. I like this one a lot more, but still think that she had better outfits on in all the Festivali Këngës, basically performances, the national final in Albania, and also in the pre-parties. So I think she might change the outfit again. Knowing Besa, she changes outfits every single time she performs, which is fun. She looked very angry, like the facial expressions, the face didn't really move as much. I don't know, it's a bit too angry maybe. It does fit the lyrics of the song in a way. I'm a titan, I'm gonna be strong and everything else. But I think viewers might be a bit turned off by that if it's that for 3 minutes. So yeah, I think this is in a bit of trouble qualifying. It has a lot of support in the semi-final, but I'm not sure it will make it in the end. Then we have Marina Satti and Sadi. This one is very busy. Busy, busy, busy. Musically, there is a lot happening. Some people call it chaotic. I call it genius. But then also the staging is quite busy, especially the graphics in the background. Lots of strobe effects, light effects, stuff happening. But I noticed that because it's a single camera shot, at least that creates a bit of cohesion and puts it all together. If there were lots of camera cuts as well in this performance, I think it would be just a bit too chaotic. I am very interested to see what the casual viewer thinks of this song and also of the performance, because it is a bit much, but maybe people will like that. I think she is so charismatic. I've loved her from the moment she was announced, and she really carries this performance. What I also really love, I almost forgot that, are the traditional elements she gets, and all of them, the backing dancers and her, get the handkerchiefs out and do the dance, and there's a line dance as well. So I think that adds a bit of culture to it, which I like a lot. Outfit looks quite 90s to me. Her outfit at least, and the backing dancers are a bit more traditional, which creates an interesting contrast. So overall, I did like this performance, actually. People have not been 100% convinced, but I mean, qualifying, I think, is a sure thing by this point. Then we have the formerly big favorite to win, now second favorite to win, Nemo, the Code from Switzerland. And I think the main reason why this is not number one in the odds anymore might be a part of the staging that I'm getting to in a minute. Nemo sings this incredibly well, especially considering everything they have to do during this performance. We have the platform. Circles seem to be a visual element of this performance, which makes sense because Nemo is breaking the code and a kind of stepping out of the circle, you might say. The platform is kind of a representation of the highs and lows that Nemo sings about, that they go through in this realization, in the lyrics. So that all makes a lot of sense, and it looks visually quite stunning, actually. So the platform is turning, they're walking up the platform, sliding down the platform, lots of things are happening, and that is great. I do think that the outfit is the issue here and why this is not number one in the odds anymore, because the song itself is already quite experimental and people will need a moment to get into the song, especially the casual viewers that are supposed to vote for this. And then you have this outfit that will take a few viewers out of the performance right away, I think. I think it's just a bit too much. That is just my own opinion. If they are happy with it, and that goes for any artist, I'm not saying they have to change it, they should change it, whatever. If they are the most comfortable in that outfit, fine. I just think it's not the most effective outfit for a Eurovision win, to be honest. Just getting rid of the puffs on the legs might be enough to make this a bit more stomachable and accessible to a general audience. I might be completely wrong and this wins in the end, but I kind of understand why it's not number one in the odds anymore. I think I said that the voice is amazing, but we knew that from the very beginning. Then we have Aiko and Pedestal. Quite a big glow up from the national final. Amazing glow up, actually, from the national final. Not a lot new to say. It sounds quite okay. It does sound like there are backing singers supporting her during the performance, which is completely fine. A lot of artists do that. And it kind of looks quite expensive, like they have put a lot of thought into it. I can't wait to see the fight scene that they added to the song, which will add a bit of drama. But overall, a good rehearsal for Czechia. Whether they will make it or not is another question I'm not 100% sure about. Now, this one I kind of criticized after the first rehearsal. I do think that the outfit now looks better. It's more silver and kind of a bit more distinct from Malta, because I was a bit worried that these two were just a bit too similar. And Austria just has more song to the whole thing. It looks pretty good. I still think it doesn't look like a rave at all, but maybe that's not the intention. And they kind of lean into the campiness of it all, which is fun. But yeah, the vocals, I just think I don't like the vocal tone 100%. That might be it. I don't think it was off, but they're a bit piercing to me in some ways. Then we have Saba and Sand for Denmark. Lots of sand imagery. To me, that is way too literal, but I think it works as a visual concept. Actually, you can see in the background there, like a sandstorm almost, and she has sand that she drops that runs through her fingers, like in the lyrics. There's a laser thing happening, and it sounds pretty good. She sings this really well. And from the 30-second clip, you also get that there's a lot of drama, and it kind of works with the drama. It's not as much of a tension anymore between the song not being the most exciting product ever and the lights going crazy like in the national final. Now it kind of works better, song and staging together. So well done, Denmark. I'm still not a big fan of the song, though. Then we have Lada Niva and Jakov for Armenia. I said that I like that each instrument gets its moment, that they're on this platform. But now seeing the 30-second clip, and she is very charismatic. She's a very charismatic performer. She knows how to play with the camera. I think this also needs the audience to be there to really have its full potential. It seemed a bit empty, which obviously the arena was when they rehearsed. I think it's a mistake to have the instruments and the people playing the instruments on these platforms, because I think it would create a better community feeling and a more fun feeling, like with Granule, for example, if they were all together, dancing together, doing a line dance or whatever it is, but having them more as a cohesive group. Here, it's more like each one is doing their thing, which doesn't really create the party feeling that this song needs. They still have time to improve. I don't think they're getting rid of the platform, unfortunately. But yeah, overall an okay rehearsal. Then we have Dawns and Hollow. Not too much to say about this. Perfect vocals every single time. But the staging, and especially this armor thing, is a bit much to me and doesn't really fit the feel of the song for me personally. I read a comment somewhere, I don't even remember where, that if he paints his head and arms blue as well, he will be part of the Blue Man Group. And kind of that is the truth. But he's not going to do that. I'm worried for Latvia because they will probably not qualify once again. This one, Megada with Once Once, I have to say this is a big glow up to the national final. The beginning, especially with the shaky camera and she's on the floor like a doll, kind of, the K-pop elements that I see in the performance. It all is a great start, pulls you into the performance and into their world also. I also love the cartoons in the background. The voice sounds pretty good, not as strained anymore. So I would say that this could actually be in with a chance, maybe. If this were in San Marino, I think it would have a better chance probably. But I kind of hope it does because it's a fun performance. I have read, again, a comment that this staging with Arcadia would have been amazing, and I agree. The song is not as good as Arcadia, which is their song from the Spanish national final last year. But still, I think they did the best they could with the song and came up with a great staging, I really have to say. That also keeps their style, which is cool. Do subscribe to this channel, only a third of you are, and then I won't have to tell you anymore. Then we have Nutsabu Zaladze with Firefighter. I still love that name, Nutsabu Zaladze. Again, long dance break, I don't love that, and the dance moves during the dance break we saw in the 30-second clip aren't as impressive, to be honest. However, this seems to me the best staged of these female pop songs. There's lots of fire, the song is about fire. That might be a bit simple for some people, but I think in this case it actually works because it adds a lot of drama to the performance. Her dress is kind of reflecting the pyro as well. And you see that very well in this picture, the backing dancers in this are more of a cohesive group that support her. They're not all over the place and just, holding her up to the sky or anything like that. They are a group, and it's a whole choreography that makes a lot of sense. And this picture is kind of exemplifying that. She sounds amazing. She sounds like a superstar, actually looks like a star. And so, yeah, I think this will make it, and Georgia will finally finish its non-qualification streak. Then we have Musti for Belgium. I like this song. I don't really love the performance. I do think that with the microphones there, it adds an interesting flavor to the performance. But for most of the 30 seconds, it's just him being very dramatic and living the song, which is great. But in some places, I just felt like it's a bit much. Like there's too much intensity to the whole thing. I don't know whether this is the 30 seconds of the last part of the performance and this is just the climax, maybe. But in the Voice of Belgium performance where he performed this song, and it was kind of the same staging, there were some camera angles, some close-ups on his face where I thought, wow, this is a bit too much, to be honest. So we shall see how it works out. Maybe the energy in the hall will also be different and he will react to it differently. But at the moment, I would say tone it down a little bit. Then we have 5 Minutes and Pulup for Estonia. To be honest, in this lineup, it felt a bit flat in a way. Like it's the national final performance. They are in the suits. I like that. The tension wearing the suit creates with this crazy song. And they have the color scheme of the two groups kind of fighting against each other during the song. One side is neon green and the other side is purple. That I like. I also like that the rapper seems to be starting off stage, which is cool. But it felt a bit, flat. I don't really know why. It is a fun performance. This will probably qualify, but I wasn't like blown away. Maybe that's also because we have seen this kind of performance from them over and over. It sounded very good. They are actually good vocalists. So this is not a joke entry. This is a real entry. And yeah, all the best of luck to them. Then we have Eden Golan and Hurricane for Israel. This has a great running order spot between Estonia, after it Norway and the Netherlands. So this seems like a sea of silence in a way. I do think that the expressive dancing that we already saw in the music video as well, and also the big staging with the circle, is a bit unnecessary. And I think having a intimate performance would have been better for this song. However, the vocals by Eden were really, really good once again. But she also seemed a little bit uncomfortable in that clip, but that might just be the second, in this case, rehearsal. Then we have Gorte and Ulveham for Norway. I mean, what can I say that I haven't said about this already? It was 100% professional. Same thing as we have seen so many times. Perfect vocals, great energy. She seems to be more, dramatic in the performance even than she was in the Norwegian national final. This will be very impressive to see. I also love the background graphics with nature imagery. This is kind of very interesting for me to see what will happen with this, especially in the final, because it will make it to the final, I'm quite sure. How people will respond to that, whether the jury will go for this, the televoters, I'm just not sure. It could do really well or not. That is the most useless sentence ever, I guess. But in this case, I could see this in the top 5 and I could see this in the bottom 5. Not really, but yeah, we shall see what happens. Exciting times. And then last but not least, we have Joost Klein and Europapa for the Netherlands. So last time I said that I thought they held something back with the staging. Apparently not, because the 30-second clip, everything we see, also in the photos that we saw again, is kind of what the performance will be like. He's on that stage. They're a bit far apart, all of the elements, his friends, the bird and him. So it doesn't really create this party feeling, again, a bit like with Armenia. So yeah, the fun part, a little bit underwhelming to me. I thought it would be more out there and more crazy. And then the 30 seconds we saw are the last 30 seconds of the song. So we do get to see the emotional end. And they chose to have a close-up of him. And obviously it's in Dutch, we know that, but they added subtitles, which I think is very, very important, because otherwise no one will understand what the song is about. And he gets very emotional during that part, which makes sense, of course. And then it ends with "From me to my parents." So people will get the message of the song, which is important. And this, if this does manage to win, which I'm still doubtful about, people will say that that was the moment where, the winner moment, kind of where people really were convinced to vote for this. The thing I'm a bit unsure about is this moment really has to work live. And I sometimes think these very emotional moments, like Sheldon Riley also taking off the mask, and people have seen it in the semi-final and then they see it again in the final, and it kind of takes away a bit from the moment, because you know that it's kind of rehearsed and it's a performance. So we shall see how that works out. I'm sure, because he has the feeling, I think it will be genuine and people will notice, but seeing it twice might be a bit detrimental. In this case, it might have been better to be a Big Five country, even though they also perform in the semis this year. These are my thoughts on the second rehearsal of the second semi-final. Let me know in the comments what you thought, which country surprised you the most, which underwhelmed you the most, and do subscribe, because more videos coming up soon. See you then, and bye-bye.